Today I have one of Thrunite's newest models and an update of one of my favorites, the TC15 V3. It's an 18650 powered Cree XHP 35.2 general purpose EDC light. It's got onboard USB-C charging here on the side. Thanks to Thrunite for sending this to me to look at and review. And they have provided me a 5% discount code that I'll have in the description, along with all my social media links for you to check out. Here are some quick night shots of the Thrunite TC15 V3. This is low, 34 lumens. The light does have a firefly mode of 1 lumen, but that won't show up on video very well. Bumping up, here is medium, 330 lumens. This is a cool white LED, a Cree XHP 35.2 and about 7,000 Kelvin. And you can see it does have Cree rainbow. You can see the center there is more white and the outer edges changes tint, so it's known as Cree rainbow. Here is high, about 1,050 lumens, and you can see it's quite windy. I hope you can hear me okay. Here is turbo, 2,403 lumens. This will run for about 2.5 minutes at this output. Nice throw out of the beam here with a decent amount of spill. This is a good EDC multi-purpose beam. And here is SOS, it's about 1,040 lumens. For my comparison, here is the Thrunite TC15 V3 at turbo, 2,403 lumens versus the Olight Warrior Mini 2. That's an SST20 LED, about 1,750 lumens. You can see it's got a bigger hotspot, no Cree rainbow, but still a good amount of spill. So here is the Thrunite TC15 V3 and the Olight. You can see the Thrunite is brighter than the Olight here. This is the Thrunite TC15 V3. Here is the box the TC15 comes in. It's like previous Thrunites. It's a pretty heavy duty cardboard box. You get a little picture of the light on the side, and then you get specifications here. This is black. They also offer it in desert tan, and we may see a neutral white version in the future, but for right now, there's only cool white. You do get a couple notable accessories. You get your bag of extras here, and Thrunite always goes above the Call of Duty. You get your standard O-rings, but you also get a spare USB cover, and then you can see that clear button in there. That's a spare inner button for the light itself. I've never had to use one, but it's nice they include it. You get a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. You get your directions. Then you get a nylon pouch here. This is pretty squished. Mine had a few strings on it. It's good quality, but I wouldn't say amazing quality. It's got a little bit of padding as well, and I'd say it's just slightly big for this light. This isn't a big light, but that makes it easy to put in, but it's not super secure in there, so you do want to make sure to use the lid flap. You also get the battery. It's a 3,100 milliamp hour IMR Thrunite branded standard button top cell, and we'll see more of that later on. Construction and design. The TC15 V3 looks a lot like the previous TC15 V2. Starting at the tail cap, you can see it is flat, but there is a small indentation in there. It is non-magnetic. If you had a really thin magnet, you could probably glue or epoxy one on there though. Your lanyard attachment point here on the tail clip is right there. This is beveled, so it's not necessarily a hot spot. There are no knurls on the tail cap itself, so it's just flat, so it's not the easiest thing to grip, but it gets the job done. On the body tube itself, there are no knurls, traditionally just a few areas milled in here. It's not a super grippy body tube, but it works. You can see the clip here attaches toward the middle of the light instead of the tail. I'll talk more about this in the retention section, but you can see that's how it's designed to fit on here. I thought I might be able to switch the body tube on here and mount it on the tail, which is how I'd prefer this, but it doesn't work like that. The threads on the inside are just ever so slightly longer on the head end here by about 1 millimeter, so you can't reverse it. It fits if you do, but it won't work. It doesn't make contact. Internally, you've got springs on the back side and a post on the front side there, so it's reasonably drop resistant. At the front here, you've got the button. Thrunite uses this type of button on a lot of their lights. It's got an LED underneath here for charging status and lockout, and it makes a decent amount of noise. I'll put it up to the mic. Instead of putting their charging port on the back here, which is what a lot of brands do, they put it on the side, which I really like. It keeps it out of the way, and you don't feel it when it's in your hand. I will open it up and show you it's USB-C, and this cover fits on here pretty well, but you do have to make sure it's on there for maximum water protection. The rest of the head's got a few flutes on it. They're very shallow. It's for decoration. There really is no bezel or anything. It's very thin and all one piece. Everything was assembled from the back side. You do have an an anti-reflective coated glass lens and a pretty deep orange peel reflector in there with the LED in the center. The retention options on the TC15-3 are pretty typical with one asterisk. Thrunite does include that holster, which you saw, and I'll grab again here. Like I said, it's just a little bit big for the light in terms of its width, but it fits in there pretty good and fairly securely. It does have a belt loop and a D-ring for you. You've also got that lanyard attachment point. I'm not a big lanyard guy, especially on small lights like this, but they do include one and it is an option. And lastly is the pocket clip here. And this is what I'm really going to focus on because this is where I think the light has its probably its biggest shortcoming. So it looks okay and it functions kind of okay. Traditionally, this type of double direction clip is mounted on the tail. I've got an Olight Warrior Mini 2, which I'm going to compare to later on, but you can see this would be a more typical setup for a light you're going to actually carry in the pocket. That big loop here sits on the front side there, and this allows you to slide it on and put it on the brim of a hat pretty easily and use as a headlamp if needed, and it also carries pretty well. However, what Thrunite's chosen to do here is reverse that. So to get this onto your pocket, and I've got some pictures, you have to get over this first ledge hump here. When you just slide it into your pocket like you would a normal flashlight, you get held up here, which isn't what you want to do. You have to lift over and go into there. Once you're there, it carries fine, but it's the process of getting there that I don't find is very easy and almost requires two hands a lot of times. So you could carry it the other way around and put your pocket in this way, but then you've got a lot of the light sticking out quite a bit here, and it's a tip-up carry, which I don't love when carrying flashlights. So with those in mind, I really wish they would put in grooves here to flip the clip around at the back. I think it'd make it a lot more carryable for a lot more people. And as far as flipping the tube around so the clip is on the back, it looks like you can do that. The threads fit so you can do that, but when you do that, it doesn't make electrical contact. The threads on the head side are about 1 millimeter longer, so yeah, can't be done. Size and weight here, I measured the length of the TC15V3 at 122 millimeters, which is 4.82 inches, minimum diameter at 23.5 mil, 0.92 inches, maximum diameter at 25.6 or 1 inch. Weight with the included battery and clip was 134 grams or 4.74 ounces. The light is IPX8 water rated and impact resistant for 1.5 meters. Here are some comparison shots with similar sized lights that you may have. Specifically the Olight Warrior Mini 2. This is a titanium fire model, which I have reviewed if you're interested. You can see they're very comparable in size. The TC15V3 is slightly longer, but by all other dimensions, they're very, very similar. I really like that the branding is minimized here. You just have the Thrunite logo and the model number, and then you've got your markings and serial number, and that's it. So well done, Thrunite. The TC15V3 uses a Cree XHP 35.2 LED. As of the creation of this video, it's only available in cool white. They do have on the box listed a neutral white, but it's not available yet. My unscientific opal meter registered this at 7,000 Kelvin in turbo with a CRI of 72 in the center. Not unsurprising there. The beam does have tint rainbow, that beam getting green around the spill, but pretty cool white in the center. The beam shape has a medium-sized hotspot in the center and a large amount of spill on the sides. The light does have PWM, but I don't really notice it with my eye, and I can throw up what the meter shows too. So the beam is overall a good characteristic for EDC in my opinion. It's not too throwy, it's not too floody, just kind of there in the middle. I did measure parasitic drain at an acceptable 47 microamps. Thrunite lists official outputs here as turbo at 2403 lumens, high at 1057 lumens, medium at 330 lumens, low at 34 lumens, firefly at 1 lumen, and strobe at 1040 lumens. For my heat and run times tests, I measured the percent of relative output here at 30-second mark to set what 100% relative output is, and this is according to the FL1 standard, and then I let them run till they shut off. I did this with the supplied 3100 milliamp hour fully charged battery. Turbo here ran for 3 minutes, stepping down gradually as the heat increased. From there, it ran for 1 hour and 20 before the final 2 step downs, and a somewhat short total runtime of 1 hour and 35 minutes. Maximum heat was recorded at the 1 hour 20 minute mark at 46C, and I then compared turbo to high and medium runtimes, and there really isn't much of a difference here between turbo and high, less than 5 minutes total runtime. However, medium ran out to 4 hours and 10 minutes. I did test how long low ran to, but didn't graph it just because due to the size of the graph, and it ran for an impressive 58 hours 17 minutes, which is longer than what Thrunite claims. So let's quickly go over the UI here. It's pretty simple. With the light off, a quick press turns it on to last mode used, and you click and hold, and then it cycles through the different modes. It's a little bit of a slow cycle, but it works. It's okay. Double press when on to go to turbo. Triple click to go to strobe. Pretty easy to use there. From off, you can long press to get into Firefly mode, and then to lock, unlock, you have to be in Firefly mode and press and hold. Let's talk about recharging. The TC15 V3 comes with that Thrunite branded 3100 milliamp hour IMR cell. This is a standard button top battery, which is great to see, and the light charges via USB-C here on the side. It is USB-C to C and USB-C PD compatible. I charged from low voltage protection at 2.94 volts to full at 4.12 in 2 hours 17 minutes, and it's worth noting here that the charging speed hit 2 amps and continued at this rate for the first hour. And that's notable because not a lot of lights actually hit and hold that 2 amp charging for a while. And make sure you have a high quality power supply to hit this though. I did try a less powerful power supply and didn't have the same luck. So my final thoughts on the TC15 V3 is that it's mostly a win for me. It's a nice size in the hand, I feel like, and not too big, not too small. It's got an easy user interface. It uses standard batteries with onboard USB-C charging. The pocket clip here is what doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really should be flipped around to the back side, I think. That makes it a better EDC, especially a pocketable light in my opinion. I don't know why they did it this way. If they wanted to do it this way, I would have milled in a second groove to allow people to clip the clip onto either direction. You can remove the clip too, which is something I failed to mention. I do hope we see a neutral white emitter for the TC15 someday. It's a personal preference of mine, but something that Thrunite has been good at in the past. I hope this isn't a situation where slower sales of neutral white emitters are causing the company to choose to not come out with them in the launch of products. Hopefully we'll see that soon. So if you're looking for a good quality, general purpose, non-complicated 18650 flashlight with an easy UI, good customer service, and a fair price, look no further than the TC15 V3. Don't forget, I do have that discount code available in the description below if you're interested. And I always want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. So make sure to leave those, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about this video. As always, I will see you on the next review. Thanks for watching.